All right, it finally happened. Giannis Antetokounmpo was traded, and he was traded to the Miami Heat. It feels like this was. It felt like this was never going to happen. It literally felt like it would never happen. The full package was unprotected first round picks in 2031 and 2033, and the number 13 pick this year, a pick swap in 2030, and a 2033 second rounder. The players were Giannis and Bobby Portis to the Heat for Tyler Hero, Kalel Ware, Jaime Jaquez, Yakachonis, and then, of course, the picks I just said. Before we get there, actually, no. We'll give the Heat the props. So this is the first time where it feels like, or at least off the top of my head, where like a star got traded and the value you got for that star was pretty decent compared to what other stars have been traded for, I think. Um you get Tyler Hero, who is he a Michigan? He's either Michigan, Milwaukee. I think he might be actually from Milwaukee. Which who knows if he's gonna stay there. I'm not the biggest Tyler Hero fan, but he's been an all-star. He's a guy that can average 20 in this league, and I think in the right area, he could be valuable. I just don't know if you're gonna get that value or as much in Milwaukee right now. Kalel Ware, who's one of my favorite young big men, a guy that I think at some point in this league could be like a 18 and 12 guy, maybe 20 and 12 type of guy with his how good he is offensively. He's one of the best rebounders in the league already. Jaime Jaquez was very good his rookie year. His second year was a little more steady. Didn't have as many ups, but I mean, he's still a young player in NBA years. He came in, I think it was a 4-year guy at UCLA, but and then Yakachonis, who's literally in his second year, who's basically a rookie or another one of these like first round picks. And then again, 3 first rounders where like in 2031, 2033, who knows what the Heat are going to look like. Who know that's in 2031 is 5 years away. 2033 is 7 years away. Who know like we have seen throughout LeBron, KD, Kawhi, Curry, all these guys aging gracefully. Giannis could for sure because he's that much of an athletic specimen. But there's also a thing like there's a very good chance Giannis doesn't age very gracefully in this. Like as a NBA player, the way he plays is very physically demanding. He's a big guy. Um, again, obviously takes care of himself. He's an NBA player, but again, is he going to age gracefully to where like maybe the Heat's window for this? And I would assume and hope that Miami does more things um after this Giannis trade. Like this isn't just the end all be all. Um, but like in 2031, is Giannis still a top hell, is he even a top 10 player in the league anymore? In 5 years, he's gonna be 36. In 7 years, like 38. Is he gonna, and who knows what they do now? Maybe they have a little dynasty run of their own, they get something else or whatever. But like the way that this stands right now, the Heat's defense, I think, will be very good. You've got players like Davion Mitchell. You obviously have Giannis and Bam, who, again, defensively as a front court, might be as good as anything that we've seen in recent history. You have like Wiggins as of right now, Norman Powell. I feel like you're kind of more inclined to re-sign Norman Powell now that Tyler Hero, Jaime Jaquez is all gone. But again, Norman Powell's just an all-star technically. Is he gonna want to bag? And again, you're paying Bam, who's I think, gonna be getting paid north of 40, maybe even $50 million, if not this season, maybe next season. And then Giannis, who's obviously one of the top guys, getting paid probably 50 million. I'm pretty sure doing this trade means that Giannis is willing to resign, so he's going to probably be resigning in Miami. Um, But yeah, I mean, I think the defense as it is now will be good. I think the offense is a lot to be desired on this team, even with Giannis, because Bam has got his moments, up and down offensively, of course. A lot of people are talking about the spacing, but again, spacing is one of those things where like Giannis spacing is different from Rudy Gobert spacing. Rudy Gobert spacing, the reason he sometimes can't close out games is because he's not very, versatile offensively, even, defensively on the perimeter and things like that. Giannis is a guy that when you have the ball, it's like a move out of the way guy. Bam can catch and shoot. Bam, I mean, again, I'm not saying Bam Adebayo is going to be shooting 42% from three, but Giannis spacing is a lot different from just a center that is just a lob catcher or a rim like he's a lob catching threat. He's a guy that has the ball in his hands most times than not. And again, the spacing I don't think is something as big as people are making it. Especially depending on how the rest of free agency goes. But yeah, I would definitely think about trying to get Norman Powell back. More shot creation you would need. If you can't get that, then you really got to look in like you probably need to find guys that are like that have a little bit of an offensive bag that probably won't be demanding like mid-level more than mid-level. Like what is Quentin Grimes going to get? You know what I mean? Like Quentin Grimes would probably be a very good option to put on this Miami team if the Sixers aren't bringing him back. Um but again, the thought I tweeted, I'm like, dude, okay, so you got Tyler Hero, who could be flipped for more thing, maybe another first round pick or two to another team, or he'll play with you and have pretty good numbers. Um, Khalil Ware is a guy that I think will be an all-star in this league. Jonas, again, it's only his second season and he had a season where in the beginning he wasn't playing as much and stuff, but he seems like he could have a high ceiling, or even a floor. It seems like he'll be a pretty good NBA player for a while. You still have like Ryan Rollins. I think KPJ is a free agent. You have Miles Turner, which they better not start Miles Turner over Khalil Ware if he even makes it through this offseason. But yeah, I mean, I think again, Giannis, again, has a little bit injury riddled. It hasn't been the greatest past couple seasons when you talk about, how his teams have performed in the playoffs. But I mean, this team's better than what the Bucks have right now. Again, who knows what the rest of free agency looks like, but there's nobody on the Bucks that is the level of Bam Adebayo. And again, I'm not saying Bam's a guy that's good averaging 25, but he's one of the most versatile players in the league defensively. And again, you pair that up with Giannis. I mean, again, the defense is already going to be good. It's the offense that I think that they need to worry about. But again, there is a side of this where like if there are people that think this was a haul for Giannis, which a lot of people probably don't because a lot of people probably aren't as high as Khalil Ware. People don't know much about Jonas yet. People are probably like, "Oh yeah, Tyler Hero. They just trade Tyler Hero and a couple first round picks. Nothing to worry about." But like in the back of your mind, if it is, and again, those first round picks I think are going to be the most intriguing part of this. Um, which again we won't obviously find out for years to come. Like again, it's not like did Pat Riley panic, but like that's I feel like you probably could have got away with this without having to give up maybe like Jaquez or like I think you would have definitely had to give up Kalel, which again I hate because again I think Kalel Ware was amazing and I'm such a big fan of his. Um but like did you have to give up Jaime Jaquez? I don't know. Um but yeah, I'm not sure. Now let's talk about a third team side. So obviously the other team that was mainly in this is the Celtics, and this isn't about the Celtics, but the Celtics. might have just ruined one of the best duos of recent history between Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. This is not the first time that Jaylen Brown has been in talks to go get some big star, to get some big name. Um, it's not. And doing this for not again, what's not the first time, how how are the Celtics front office gonna be like it when he's like, "Yeah, you just tried to trade me for Giannis. Guess what? I wanna leave." And now you can't trade for Jaylen Brown. You can't trade for Giannis. So you have to trade Jaylen Brown to somewhere where, like, as far as we know, there's nobody even near Giannis's talent that might be out there. Some people are seeing the LeBron to Golden State thing. Some people think Kawhi could be on the move in some sort of way. But y- Jaylen Brown could very well say, "Yeah, you keep doing this. You keep trading, requesting, not requesting to trade, but like putting me in offers to be traded. I might want to go." Now, I am one of the people that, as cool as it would have been to see Tatum and Giannis, as you know, as probably lethal as that pick and roll between Tatum and Giannis, as Tatum as the ball handler and Giannis as the roll man could have been, I was team don't trade Jalen Brown. So I'm not. So I'm pissed. I'm not pissed because we didn't get Giannis. I'm pissed because of what I just said with Jalen Brown. Because Jalen Brown now might again be like, I want to leave. And this is different. This isn't like a player I'm going to use. No shade on this guy, but like Larry Markkinen has been in trade rumors for 3, 4 years now from the Jazz. He made an all-star. He's got his like trade value. His value was as high as ever as it had been the last couple of years. But that was a guy they got through trades. That was a guy he's on his third team now. And he made his first all-star year for a team that has not been very good recently. We drafted Jaylen Brown 10 years ago, third overall pick. He's been on All-Star, All-NBA. He's probably got some sort of Celtics records, and he was a final MVP for us not eat like 2 years ago. He was 2 years ago, and now we think it now granted, last season, 2025 season, the Tatum thing was a rough, right? The Achilles, whatever. Um, and we were down already in that series. I think the game Tatum went down, we were down 2-1 already. So, sure, the Tatum thing happened. And then basically throughout this season that just ended, there were no expectations because oh yeah, their best player was out. Well, to some people their best player. Um Jaylen Brown had a phenomenal year. He was probably 6th in MVP, something like that. He was in contention for All NBA first team, and people were like, "Oh wow, Jaylen Brown can be a one, like a 1A by himself," because the Celtics are the 2 seed before, and Tatum came back for the last 10 games, I think. He was there for the playoffs, and people were like, "Oh wow, they're the 2 seed. The Celtics could be the favorites out or a favorite out east." We obviously blew a 3-1 lead. Tatum didn't play game 7, whatever. But those are seasons where like there's not an excuse necessarily, but like there's a reason where you can be like, "Oh yeah, it kind of makes sense as to why they didn't make it." The last like healthy season that we had where these guys were here or people were here for the whole season was the year that they won in 2024. Um so again, The I'm not mad that we didn't get Giannis because again, I think the Miami Heat package is definitely better unless they really valued keeping a star in Milwaukee and Jaylen Brown, or they thought that they could flip Jaylen Brown for maybe to the Clippers for the number 5 pick, which I saw was rumored. Um, or something to where they think they could get another haul of players, but the Heat package was definitely better than the Celtics offering Brown, Hugo Gonzalez, Baylor, Shireman, the 27th pick this year and another first round pick. The trade is way better. So you can't fault them for taking that. But the amount of things that I've seen now where it's like, um, I gotta see if I can find it. Um, yeah, and who knows? Jaylen Brown put out a thing on his stream saying he would play for 10 more years if it was up to him in Boston. Who knows? He might just be putting that on for a who knows? He's not gonna air it out like that right now. But I don't know. Now the Celtics are looking for Trey Murphy. Um, I don't know. I don't know. And I think it's kind of ridiculous that the Celtics didn't like Brad Stevens didn't want to give up Hugo Gonzalez for yeah. Like if you were gonna do this, do this much damage to Jalen Brown and make him be like, oh yeah, they're willing to get rid of me or whatever. And Hugo Gonzalez is the determining factor. Again, I was team keep it, but if you're gonna go that far, you can't back out because of a guy who was what a second round. Like, where was Hugo Gonzalez drafted? I literally can't even tell you. He was the 28th pick last year, and he showed flashes for sure, but no way, not even in a Giannis trade, is that man untouchable. If the Pelicans, who were it's rumored for the Celtics to get Trey Murphy, said, "Hey, yeah, we want Hugo Gonzalez for this," bye bye. Like, I don't know. I don't know. But still, Giannis, the trade saga, the rumors, it's finally over. He's gone. Um, I think a lot of people had the idea that it was definitely happening. He posted on Instagram, not saying goodbye, but he was saying like quoting and whatever, and being like, how much of a good time it's been and stuff like that. So that's when I figured out that he was definitely going to get moved. But again, he got moved to the Miami Heat. Again, the Miami Heat, I think, have things to do still. But hey, the Heat finally got a star, man. They've been in rumors for stars since LeBron left, bro. Kyrie, KD, Donovan Mitchell, Bradley Beal, I remember. They had Jimmy Butler where, the beginning of the 2020s, it was like Miami versus Boston every year in the playoffs in the conference final. And that's kind of how it felt again with this trade. Who's going to win that game of getting Giannis between the two teams that, went against each other a bunch in the conference finals for like 4 years straight. Um, but yeah, I mean, they got it. They got their star. Miami fans should be happy. I honestly don't think Bucks fans could be too unhappy either. Because again, even though some of that stuff, like those picks, are later down the road, man, when you get to that point, those things could very well be top 10 picks, man. Who knows what the Miami Heat are going to look like? Who knows what the Miami Heat are going to look like in a month? Never mind in 5, 7, 8 years. So that's my take. Let me know what you guys think about the Giannis trade. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, come back for more, and share with a friend.